So we know sometime this month that the Japanese tank destroyers are coming to the tech tree. The premium representative for the line was already featured in the season pass as the paid passes stage 100 reward, and the trailer for the season showed us the tech tree itself. But do we already know the next tech tree after these tank destroyers? Well, with the newest tank to come out, we just might. The premium representative for the second line of Japanese heavy tanks is coming out on the 9th, the Tier 8 Type 63. Which is very interesting because these tanks are fairly recent on PC and surpass multiple lines in terms of their release schedule. But I think I know why we're bringing these out already. If we could talk about those tank destroyers for a second, they came out after a tank line that we're still missing, the American Yo heavy tanks, and yet they're coming out before them on console. And that I would chalk up to the fact that the Japanese tank destroyers have no extra mechanic to them. They are just regular tanks with somewhat unique guns. So no new tech was needed to make these happen. While the Yo line's specialty is that they can reverse while tracked. So I think we put these out first because they were easier to make. Now the new Japanese heavies are potentially coming next with their tier 8 premium representative already making it to the game. But they have a unique double aim mechanic on PC. So they're not easier to make than the Yos, right? So why might they be making these tanks first then? Well, much like the Italian heavies, we're just not giving them the unique mechanic. That's right, the Type 63 may have automatic siege mode, but that's it, no double aim mechanic. And just quickly for those that might not know what the mechanic is and how it works, once reloaded with the Japanese heavies, you can wait an extra couple of seconds for the gun to cool further and better your accuracy. For example, on this tier 8 premium on PC, your base accuracy is a .36. But if you wait that extra couple seconds, you can get that down to an insanely accurate .20 base accuracy. You sacrifice DPM for accuracy, which makes these heavies have a trade-off in order to snipe effectively. I was so looking forward to this mechanic, but unfortunately I won't get to see it. And while these will have a mechanic, it is one that already exists, and frankly is kind of annoying to play with right now. Just like how the Japanese tank destroyers were easier to make first, if you just don't give a line the unique mechanic they're supposed to have, then that makes them easier to make too. By the way, I want to just say I'm not complaining about the easier to make part. I don't care that the Yos aren't out yet, and I'm just happy to get any tank line. So the Japanese tank destroyers coming out first doesn't bother me. What does bother me though, is that seemingly we won't get the double aim mechanic on these Japanese heavy tanks, and I presume it's for the same reason that was given for the Italian heavies not getting the reload compensation mechanic they so deserve. They apparently didn't feel it was necessary to figure out how to make the mechanic if it works without the mechanic. Double barrels took such a long time for them to figure out how to make it just a separate mode to double shot. So I don't know how long it would take for them to work out how to get reload compensation or double aiming to work. So instead they just put out the tanks without their unique abilities. To be honest, it feels like a bit of a cop-out on Wargaming's part, but that's what it is and that's what we're getting. There's nothing we can do about it, and while we put in work for multi-turrets, missiles, tech, and flamethrowers, it seems we won't be getting simple things like reload compensation and a double aim mechanic for tanks that probably deserve them. I know for a fact the Italian heavies deserve them, and these Japanese heavies probably won't feel as unique as they could if they don't have them. But anyway, I guess I should quickly go over the new tank. Here is the Type 63 and its stats. It has 1400 hit points to play with, a 40 km/h top speed with a pretty good 16.5 power to weight ratio, and it enters and exits siege mode at 25 km/h. In siege mode, it adds 4 degrees of gun depression and elevation, extending its gun depression from 8 to 12 degrees. The 105mm gun on this tank does 320 alpha every 9.6 seconds for a flat base DPM of 2000. Which is buffed from PC, as is its accuracy, which is a base .33. But remember, with no double aim, it's not getting that base .27 after some time after reloading. It fires AP standard rounds with 230 pen and 1150 shell speed, and a premium heat round with 290 pen and sub 1000 shell speed. The HE only does 400 damage with 53mm of pen and sub 1000 shell speed as well. Lastly, it has 380 meters of base view range, and that's the Type 63. And I'll be happy to see another World War II tech tree this year already, possibly next season, but I will definitely be disappointed that they won't be coupling with the double aim or gun cooldown mechanic, I think it might actually be called. But this year is looking to be dense with the amount of lines released, as last year we only got one World War II line and just one Cold War line. This year already we got two World War II lines, the double barrels and the soon to be had Japanese tank destroyers, and a Cold War line with the German lights and tank destroyers. And we're potentially getting a third World War II line next season. I expect to see the Yos this year as well, and at least one more Cold War line, maybe even two, but we'll see if Wargaming keeps it up. They might only do Cold War lines the rest of the year, and the Yos might come out next year. Either way, it's good news and bad news. Good news, new potential World War II lines so soon after the tank destroyers release, and the bad news being they're going to be down one unique mechanic. I'll still grind them of course, but man, I was really looking forward to that double aim mechanic. Are you as worried as me that we're just going to refuse to keep adding the unique mechanics of PC tanks? Are the Yos even going to be able to reverse while tracked when they release? Are the Chinese rocket boosting heavies even going to have the rocket boost mechanic? Or are they going to give them turbo mode instead, because that already exists in our game and requires less development time? That example specifically is a really scary thought, because that would be a massive buff to an already strong mechanic, because rocket boosters have limited charges and time durations. Giving them a speed mode indefinitely would be insanely dumb. Anyway, I'm still holding out hope that the Italian heavies get reload compensation, and I hope Wargaming Console stops dropping the unique mechanics that makes these tanks so much more interesting. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.